chapter, what we are reading now, the universal form of Krishna, that is basically covering this aspect that the moment he exhales, multiple universes, multiple bubbles comes. Each bubble is one universe. And in each bubble, we have again, out of causeless mercy, expands into Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. And from Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, the novel stem, 14 planetary systems comes. And the top loka is called, anybody remember what the top loka? On the navel coming from the stem of Lord Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, the top loka is Tapoloka.
Brahmaloka.
Tapoloka, yes, correct. Tapoloka, Brahmaloka. Brahmaji is coming from there. Okay, how many planetary systems are there total? On the stem coming from 14 planetary systems are there. 14 planetary systems are there. Middle one is Earth. Top one is Brahmaloka. What is the last one? Patala Loka. Absolutely. So these are the symptoms of, not symptoms, the manifestations of the Vishnu in the material management. And each and every, as these manifest, as you go, Earth is in between almost, and above Earth, every living entity, as you go upper, the life expectancy is high, and even scriptures. And I was reading class on Ramayana that day in the temple. I was reading that the Ramayana has 17,000 verses in this our planet. I think it was some billions, some trillions of verses if you go to higher planetary systems. Even Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam also like that. We have in Bhagavad Gita how many slokas? 800? 700? 700, correct. 700 slokas. But as you go to upper planetary systems, these details also expands as you go upper planetary systems. You go to Tapoloka, Brahmaloka, top lokas, which can have, I don't know exact number, but the number of lokas also increases because their capacity of sitting and reciting also increases. And in Kali Yuga, in this Chaloka, we call it Chaloka, where we live, our capacity is very limited. That's why we have only 700 shlokas. Like that. The scriptures also expand as you go upper planetary systems as well. Okay. So it means that this one line, Andantarastu Paramanusayantarastam, is explaining that every atom, Krishna is expanded, fully manifested Krishna. It's not that Krishna and a little Krishna, no, fully 400 form. That I say corroborates our 11th chapter, that universal form of Krishna. Okay, so these are some of the what you call cross references to check how our Supreme Lord Krishna is the origin of everything. That's why Brahma is the smart, highest intelligent, smartest demigod. He just gave one sloka, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadiradir Govinda. Is there since time immemorial. Sarvakarana Karana. Everything, we think everything happening because of me. I am. I means illusion. That Brahma says in the second canto. The moment you put I, we are in the illusion. I am doing this. That's illusion. Because that's not the real. Okay. So that's what I'm explaining here. Everything in this is happening because of the blessings of Krishna. So what I would do, I would like to just read the purport 1132 here. I think, did we read this one? No. Okay, let's do this one. And I will request everyone to recite this because it's Bhagavan. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Kalosmi loka kshaya krutta pravruddha.
Kalosmi loka kshaya krutta pravruddha.
Lokan samahritam iha pravritta.
Lokan samahritam iha pravritta.
Utepi tvamna bhavishyanti sarve.
Bhavishyani sarve
Yeva stita prati anikeshu yoda.
Yeva sthita prati anikeshu yodha.
Okay, translation to Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Repeat after me. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said,
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said,
I am,
I am,
the great destroyer of the worlds.
the
the great destroyer of the world,
And I have come here to destroy all people,
and I have come
to
here
destroy all
to
people,
destroy all the people,
with the exception of you, the Pandavas.
with the
with the
exception of
exception of
you,
you,
the
the Pandavas.
Pandavas.
All the soldiers here on both sides will be slain.
All the
All the soldiers here
both
on both sides
sides
will be.
You know,
will
this
be
is information Arjuna getting before even Mahabharata took place. Right? Mahabharata did not took place yet. But conclusion already Krishna giving to Arjuna. What's going to happen? What's going to come? That means future telling. Krishna is telling Krishna and Arjuna. And also it's giving Arjuna also. Don't think that you are doing this war. Calm down. You are just acting as an instrument. I came with the blueprint here. I am the doer. Krishna is very clear on the message. No confusion at all. You all agree with me on the call? Or anybody has a doubt about this one? This Bhagavad Gita spoken before war took place. Results are already declared. How is that possible? In the material world, is it possible that your results are declared before you take into action? For example, basketball team, I'm watching nowadays series of basketballs games. Somebody say, this team is winning before. How nice that would be if it happens material world. We won't be sitting here. We'll be flying on the air. Oh, I'm doing. But that's why God has put limitations on us. Arjuna is getting results before the war. He's telling. And also, one quiz question. Okay, I just learned. Okay, nothing great about my knowledge. How many people left on Mahabharata war after the war is over? I see. Anyways, I'm not testing your knowledge. I just learned it, and I also not aware of that. I just learned how many people left on Mahabharata war on the battlefield once the battle is over. Any guesses?
Pandava and the son of the Dronacharya.
You are very. Who is that? Jayaprakash Prabhu?
I'm sorry?
You're talking, right? I just want to make sure Jayaprakash Prabhu is talking. Wow, you are very close, Prabhu. Prabhu, you are very close. Okay, so I'll give the answer. Okay, again, I just learned it. No big. I'm not. I don't think that I am coming from. I just learned it. I think Pandavas tried 7 people. Pandavas, Krishna, and Satyaki. 7 people from the Pandavas side. And Kauravas side, 3 people left. Ashwatthama, Krutavarma, Krupacharya. These 3 people. 7 people left on the battlefield, it seems, after Mahabharata. Every side, sides of Pandavas, sides of soldiers on the other side have taken care. Of course, lying in front of Krishna, seeing Bhagavan, they might have already gone to Godhead. So, but look at the message here that Krishna very clearly declared results before the war took place. So he's telling here, exception, all soldiers on both sides will be slain. Okay, now, but does it mean that Arjuna now, okay, I don't want to fight war, let me go to the next tree and let me chant my rounds? No, it's not that. Arjuna still has to do his duty here. And this also we take into consideration, devotees. So, we are devotees of Krishna, but we have to do our dharma as a householder. As what we are supposed to do, we have to do it. We cannot neglect our household duties as that one, as a husband, as a wife, as a son, as a teacher, whatever role we play, we have to fulfill that also with devotional service. Okay, so I'll just read. Any Mataji's volunteers can read first paragraph. I think I don't want to go next. I want to finish off next 5 to 10 minutes at the most. Any volunteers to read the purport? Anyone is fine. First come, first serve.
Although Arjuna knew that the Krishna was his friend and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was puzzled by the various forms exhibited by Krishna. Therefore, He asks further about the actual mission of this devastation force. It is written in the Vedas that the supreme truth destroys everything, even the Brahmanas, as stated in the Katha Upanishad.
You can read the translation, Prabhuji.
Eventually, all the Brahmana, Kshatriya, and everyone else are devoured like a meal by the Supreme. These forms of the Supreme Lord is all devouring giant. And here Krishna presents himself in that form of all devouring time. Except for a few Pandavas, everyone who was present on the battlefield will be devoured by him. Arjun was not in favor of the fight, and he thought it was better not to fight, then there would be no frustration. In reply, the Lord is saying that even if he did not fight, every one of them would be destroyed. For that was his plan. If Arjun stopped fighting, they would die in another way. Death could not be checked, even if he did not fight. In fact, they were already dead. Time is destruction, and all the manifestations are to be vanquished by the desire of the Supreme Lord. That is the law of the nature.
Wow. I love Prabhupada beautifully putting the last line. That is the law of nature. So nice, right? No, none of us can escape from the laws of nature. If you misbehave with the nature, nature is going to punish us. Nobody can escape. And Krishna putting time factor into consideration here very nicely. Time. If you see the Mahabharata, my samay ho. My samay ho. Krishna comes, Kalikala Nama Rupe Krishna avatars. The age of Kali came in the form of Nama Rupa. And Krishna says, I'm the time, all devouring. Everybody will be gone. Look at that. Here, he gave a hint to Arjuna. Again, I said same thing. No big deal. Even in that place, either you or I go, this war will be won by. Why? Because Krishna is the doer. Krishna is the one who making us to perform. And Arjuna doesn't want to fight, but Krishna said, no, we have to do your duty. And time factor is very important. Krishna bringing time factor here. Time takes care. We all have that. Time takes care of. Time heals everything. We have that proverb. Time takes care of many things. Right? Because this time is Krishna. And when you talk about time here in the spiritual world, right? And how atheist can see time. Atheist at the time of death see Krishna in the form of time. Atheist see Krishna at the time of death. At the time in the form of death, Krishna see Krishna. That time passes by, and we know time and tide waits for none. It keeps on moving. But in the spiritual world, who are devotees of Krishna, Krishna is time. And here Arjuna, Krishna reflects this form of the devouring kind. Krishna presents himself in the form of all devouring time, except for the Pandavas. Everyone in the present battlefield would be devoured by him. Arjuna was not in favor of the fight, but he thought it was better not to fight. So that there is no frustration. Like Krishna says, no, it's not correct. You have to fight. You have to do your duty, even though I am here to control. So in this, I just wanted to write here, in fact, they were already dead. Even Arjuna, even if you don't fight, he's lamenting about his great-grandfather, teacher, cousins, etc., in the second chapter. He gives a long list of items why he doesn't want to fight. He gives in the first chapter. In the second chapter, also up to 7th shloka, he talks what is the use of this, I can live on begging, this, that. It's the Vishadaka, the first chapter whole. He was so much depressed. The identity crisis comes for Arjuna. The identity crisis. He doesn't know who you are, who are my identity. Then Krishna comes and gives identity, who are you? Then whole soul characteristics come in sequence. Here, same thing, he's telling that, no, nobody, even if you don't fight, don't kill them. For example, death. There are three facts about death. Okay, if death is determined by the God, so and so time, Whatever escapes we make, whatever arrangements we make, death will come. That means death is inevitable. First line, death is inevitable. First fact. Second fact, okay, when you die alone. Is that correct statement? When you die alone, or somebody would come with you. Oh, let me also come. Nobody comes. And third fact is very crucial. Death can come anytime. Three things remember about death. Death is inevitable. When you die alone. Death can come anytime. That's why Bhagavatam says, Durlabho manusho deho, dehi nam kshanabhanguram, tatrabi durlabham manye vaikunta priyadarshanam. Is that? Durlabho manusho deho. Very, very, very rare to get this human form of life. Durlabho manusho deho. Dehi nam kshanabhanguram. This body can go anytime, within a fraction of a second. There's no guarantee. We can guarantee what happens, certain things, but life, for sure death. Yes. And Christians say, for sure death. Okay, death can come anytime. Any minute it can come. I think remember from Bhagavatam, who is that Muni, Katwanga Muni? I don't remember Katwanga Muni or Shaubhari Muni, somebody. And he helps some demigod to fight. And then he asks, how much time left in my life? He said, you have only a fraction of the second. Then he starts chanting, within fraction of a second, he goes back to Godhead. What I'm saying is that precious life, at the same time, it is risky. It can go anytime. Tatrabi durlabham manye, rather than that is Vaikunta Priyadarshanam. Serving a pure devotee of the Lord is very rare. And when you're involved in serving a pure devotee of the Lord, spiritual master, senior devotee, the life is successful. So that's what we need to do. That's why, Durlabho manusho deho, dehi nam kshanabhangam. We have to be very cautious about what we do. How we need to know. Here, look at that, how Krishna is showing not only Shyamsundara form, and also I am present everywhere in this creation. Everywhere I am there. I said last class also, wherever you see this beautiful thing, immediately you should remember Krishna. A beauty in everything is Krishna. If you go to somewhere, oh, such a beautiful thing, immediately we should remember how Krishna made this, how beautiful Krishna made this one. So because that happened because of Krishna's energies only. Okay. And in our life also things happen, right? Everything we attribute to Krishna, good or bad. In case of devotees, nothing bad, everything is good. Right? Krishna is absolute. Absolute means there's no negativity, and we don't have negativity in our life. Everything happens by mercy of Krishna. There's a reason for everything. And Krishna knows exactly where he should put us, in which situation, etc. Krishna knows better. So accept. That's called Dainya. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained. Dainya means what? Accepting the will of the Lord, not your will. What we will do, we put our will in front of Krishna, we'll try to fight with Krishna. Why my will is not happening over your will? Okay, that's humility and humbleness. Okay, so what I think I went over 5 minutes over. I would like to stop here. And I like the last word. That is the law of nature. Prabhupada writes beautifully. Okay, nobody can escape the laws of the nature. So yeah, so I'll stop here, and I would like to request all the devotees, anyone please, add some important points which I forgot or I might have had not enough knowledge to share, so you all can pitch in and share some more. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Is that everybody is there or everybody left from this? Oh, okay, we're all on the mute. Yeah. So anybody would like to add some points here, which I might have missed it? Feel free, devotees. There's a discussion, please.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Prabhupada.
Sanjay Prabhu, sorry, Sankarshan Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, very enlightening, very beautiful class, Prabhuji. I'd like to add one thing, which even scientists believe today. There is something called God particle, and they are trying to get to that point. particle, they say they can only get it only for a few milliseconds. Like, so just wanted to add that little point that it's not what our Vedas are saying, what our Shastras are saying. Even scientifically, it is proven that God particle exists.
Absolutely. Very nice. Thanks for sharing, Prabhuji. So nice. So nice. Yeah. It's called God particle.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna,
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji.
God particle.
Oh, God particle. Yeah, Ramchandra Prabhu, please.
Actually they are having a special research going on in Europe, and they have spent some billions of dollars for that, and they're able to get that particle only for a few milliseconds. They say. So it just comes and goes like, and they're like, that's what you can imagine how fast Krishna is.
Correct. So thanks for sharing. Yeah, Ramchandra Prabhuji, you were saying something.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Please accept ample obeisance to all the Vaishnavas, all glories to Prabhupada. This God particle that Shankarshan Prabhu has talked about, it has come from, how did all this come about? The nature and existence.
Mm-hmm.
They keep going back. They thought it's Big Bang, but how did Big Bang happen? And keep going back.
Mm.
One of the physicists, in a sarcastic manner, he said that we found the God particle because people who believe that God is the cause of everything. They input God particle. But similarly, when they're trying to find out, so they go one step further and further. How did creation happen? Then we say that there is nothing. But nothing also, there's something and nothing, which are these fundamental particles. Then they keep going lower and lower and lower. But still they keep getting baffled. They can't figure out. Or sometimes get the answer, sometimes they still try to find out. So from this God perspective particle, in the verse which you read, Andantarastara Paramanuchayantarastam, that is Krishna. Even if you're talking about the fundamental particles, so there is atoms are made up of proton, electron, whatever.
Neutrons, yeah.
Atoms are also further made up of subparticles, and then those subparticles are, so Krishna is there even within the space between all this.
Absolutely.
So he is the Sarva Karana Karanam. So there is the ascending way, and there is the descending way of knowing stuff. So if we go the descending way, that's pretty simple to explain. And Shankarshan Prabhu said that billions of dollars are being spent. There's that CERN research, I think in Switzerland or somewhere. Billions, and being spent. And Vaishnava, it was either Prabhupada or somebody. He says, whatever you're looking for now, just buy one book. Simple, whatever, $10 or
that's it.
Just all your answers will be given in that.
Absolutely.
So you're spending so much time, so much. So that was big. I had I would like to hear your point of view and all the other devotees on the call. Prabhu, we have accepted, correct, Krishna.
Yes.
And our degree of acceptance it varies. But fundamentally, we have that basic faith. That yes, Krishna is.
Obviously, a lot of disturbance coming when it's not clear when you're talking.
Can you hear me? Wait, Prabhu, I'll go on the other computer.
Sure.
Lifted the offering.
Sure.
Just one.
No problem.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
In the meantime, I'll just ask one quick question, Prabhuji.
Sure,
you were
Mataji.
mentioning that Brahmaji gave only one verse, Ishvara Param Satya.
No, he wrote Brahma Samhita. A lot of shlokas are there. I'm just reading few of them. This is Brahma. If you go to ISKCON Desire Tree, same, if you go to Veda-based.com, you find Brahma Samhita.
Okay, yeah, that was my question then. Who gave Brahma Samhita? Okay,
Brahma himself. Actually, in Bhagavatam, we have Brahma Vimochana Leela. Brahma also in the beginning, he thought he is the greatest and nobody greater than him, he thought. And he's tested Krishna and Balram, the Brahma Vimochana Leela. Krishna. I know you know that pastime, right? Sorry, Prabhu, Amritanand, you're saying something. I don't know.
Please go ahead. Please
answer
this question.
In that Brahma Vimochana Leela, Brahma thinks he's the greatest, but what happens is that he wants to see how Krishna is greater. Then he hides all the Krishna's cows, covered boys, etc. Everyone he hides, and the Supreme Lord Krishna, present in the heart of even Brahma, also he realizes okay, he hid everyone. Then Krishna is the Supreme Lord, his inconceivable potencies. He expands himself into gopas, gopis, cows, and when they go back home on the same day, cows are giving more milk and gopis showing more attraction to their parents because Krishna expanded himself. The next Brahma realizes, okay, he is the Supreme Lord, and based on that, Brahma gives his realizations about Krishna and he writes full Brahma Samhita.
Please.
Sorry, Prabhuji. Go ahead.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's how it came. Yeah.
Continuing the thing which I wanted to understand from all the Vaishnavas, we have basic faith, and then as you spend time Vaishnav Sangha reading sadhana, that faith becomes stronger and stronger. Now, if we look at it, Prabhu, there are more and more atheists. In fact, it's the fastest growing school of thought as compared to people with faith. So as time goes by, more and more people are getting to be atheists. And of course, I think Bhavishya Purana has said that the state will be even worse. But we have to deal with these people, everyone. You have to deal with all kinds of people. You don't need to be judgmental. So when these topics of discussions come in, of, how did all this happen? Who is God? Whatever. Now, people who have some information, especially from India, most people have half-baked information. They don't have proper. They've heard of Krishna. Krishna is a playboy. Krishna is some Kshatriya, some half information they have. So then, when they listen to these pastimes or what is factual of the Virat Roop, for example, so that's where they try to use their small brains in understanding how it works. Now, of course, you don't argue with such people. The instruction is because, they'll make more and more offenses.
Right.
But for someone who's genuinely interested, people have questions, people have doubts. So someone who's genuinely interested, how is it possible? Then what are some of the answers that you all use in explaining unbelievable things, so to say, like Virat Roop? And there are so many others are there. So how do you handle this? How do you explain it nicely, simply?
It's very very challenging, Prabhu, but I think I'm doing this Pakriksha for the last 10 plus years. What I learned over the time, I'm just giving out of my own little experience what I do. When we have to please them, for the example, first we make a friendship with them, and we try to mix with them, and we see what is what is we try to make them. It's not like overnight chanting or anything. We just make them comfortable and make friendship with them for some time. Then what I would do is basically, when you make friendship with them and ask them, and what is their immediate necessities. Some people have this problem, that problem. So we try to give some kind of solution. Hey, do this way, that way. Slowly. It's not overnight. It could be a long relation, like 3 months, 6 months, 1 year over the time. So then they get good friendship, they get good advice. This one, they have some kind of positivity develops in you. Okay. Then slowly, slowly, hey, we have this, we read this one, and this I'm getting benefit, with this looks good, this information. Slowly, slowly, step by step, hey, attend this one, we have this like this, bring to temple once in a while, and so they I think as they come, we all have positive vibes coming. So slowly, slowly, then we introduce them to slowly, slowly. I think my spiritual master never mostly teaches Americans. He doesn't say Krishna. He says Yoga Sutras, some form of the different. He starts with the yoga, and slowly, slowly he connects. Okay, mantra meditation is like this, slowly, slowly. So I'll try to adopt some of them also, just slowly, slowly bring them. And hey, we have Bhagavatam every morning. You want to join? I'm feeling good joining these things. Slowly, slowly. That's how when they comes to in contact with Krishna, then that's how where we slowly, what you call, guide them, and slowly. That's what I started, Prabhuji. So, and again, the end result could be they may stay, and some people sincerely join 6 months without fail Bhagavatam. Suddenly one day they disappear. Okay, at least, but I believe Shastra 2.40. I strongly believe in 2.40. Neha Bikramana. But we give something to them. At least they have something in, if not this lifetime, they may come to. Because the problem is we over-expect from the people who are like shaky faith. It's called pliable faith. Means they have agnostic kind of thing, and in between atheist and not this thing. So we need to slowly develop. But the problem, most of them they rush up too much and put so much information, dump it so much, force person. That's what people hate. But slow and steady wins the race. I have seen that. But again, that doesn't mean that's a success story. Could be failure too. But at least we can give some thought of Krishna consciousness. If they have Sukruti, if they're pious spirit, they may stick around. Otherwise, that's fine. Whatever we can give, we can give. That's my approach would be. Sorry, I think I'm taking a long time.
No. Very nice. But that's in terms of cultivating a devotee. If there is friendship is necessary,
yes,
he's not going to accept whatever you say.
Yeah.
With friendship comes some level of trust and so on.
Absolutely.
But if you are in a general setting, like a family function, and especially this happens when people come to know your Hare Krishna, and it becomes some kind of, I don't know, an ego thing. They try to either test your faith or they try to defeat you.
Correct.
And walking away from that is a little difficult. But there are some also in these gatherings, and you may not meet them again, who genuinely ask you, how is this possible? How is for Virat Roop I'm using as an example. How is it possible, Virat Roop? And you can use that. Just because something you haven't experienced doesn't mean doesn't exist. Like Prabhupada gave that example. I've gone to Africa, Australia, Europe, but there are so many countries I haven't been to. Doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
Correct.
So that's a pretty straight, logical way. So I was just trying to get, other people's experiences, if they can share how they would handle that without getting into an argument, without that's the way I am. If I'm a fool, I'm a fool. That's fine. For the argumentative guys, but for the interested people, how would we, what other thing besides, it's not in my experience doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Is there something else?
Actually, I also give one more example. When we have studied first class, second class, we were told electrons are there, protons. We just believe the theory, we pass the exams. When you go to postgraduate level, you can see cathode ray tube experimentation. Then you see, hey, your faith, what I read as a theory childhood, but now I can see it. Same way, God also, we do this one, and there is a, slowly revelations comes as well.
Good point. Yeah, thanks. Anybody else also can please share Sankarshan Prabhu, Simeshwar Prabhu. It will really help our own understanding as well as sharing with others. Thanks.
I think we should not, that's Srila Prabhupada also mentioned that we should not talk to high philosophy to the new person. whatever symbol, like if somebody, the first thing is actually our behavior and our character. Whenever there is a new person, we have a situation that we need to deal with it. I think it's always says that our behavior, our attitude is the better, that speaks more than our action or our words, right? Uh, so our actions speak more than our words. So we meet them, greet them, and we take care of them, and so nicely. And also, if there is a new person, we should not open up any kind of argument with at all. So what I do is actually I try to listen to them, right? What they say, just listen to them, and what's your point and things like that. Then definitely, once they will listen and what they believe on it, so we can really connect to it. You can really connect to it. Like Srila Prabhupada came to this country, and Srila Prabhupada said that I didn't come here to convert you. I came here to teach the real Krishna philosophy, Krishna's principles, so that faith, so that you can strengthen your belief. Whatever religion you are, whatever the consciousness you are, you can strengthen that. So I believe we should take that approach, that if we see a person, immediately we try to convert them, or put our dominance, or we are better than you, or I have more knowledge than you.
No,
This is
sorry to interject, but that's not the thing of boasting off with the knowledge that we have. It is
that should not be there.
Definitely it should not be there. In fact, that's why people hate those who
preach. Exactly. People hate, and
nobody likes that preach.
Nobody likes, and we feel like we behave like a fanatic, and we don't take that one, we don't talk to you, we don't mingle with you. Okay, let me do something else, then things like that. So this all actually what to do, this all repel those who are even little bit of leniency towards us. They will repel, they'll say, what kind of person this is, and what kind of Krishna. No, actually we should be, so like Srila Prabhupada says that when we deal with a child, we should also become a child, so that they can easily interact with us, they can easily talk to us. Otherwise they won't speak to us, child, if we are not like like that. So we should,
my question was, yes, whatever you're saying is 100% right, but there are these settings, and it becomes a little tricky where someone is argumentative, you just do Haribol, and even if he calls you a fool, you say, yes, I'm a fool. But there is a person who has a curiosity, and he or she genuinely asks you for that time period to build up a relationship, to build up some kind of a thing over a period of time. It's not available. He's just someone whom you visited in a social setting, and then after that program is over, you go your own way. So in such a situation, when someone asks, how is it possible, this Virat Roop? So one explanation is, what of Prabhupada. But suppose I'm trying to figure out what more way which he gets, which will try to increase his curiosity, and even though we may not meet.
I got your exact point, Roji. So I can give an answer. I mean, I can explain. Swami Vivekananda, I think it's a beautiful story there, pastimes, story there. Narendra, Swami Vivekananda's childhood name was Narendra. Narendra was an atheist. He never believed in the Lord. He never believed in anything. And somehow, one day, he got some realization, and he got very inquisitive, and he was very much wanted to know about the these concepts of the God. So he traveled. He just came out from he was very inquisitive and very intelligent person, but he didn't believe because he was not convinced at all. So he was traveling, and and he met so many, like saints and sages, like gurus. Everybody explained something, but he didn't convince at all. And then finally he came and met Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and there was a discussion, and they were talking each other, and so there are so many things they discussed. And then finally, Vivekananda Narendra mentioned that you can convince me, then only I will believe that can I see the Lord? Can I find the Lord? Can I see the Lord? So Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, if you open your eyes, you are seeing the Lord. If you open your eyes, you can see the Lord. What you see, everything is the Lord. There is none other than this is the Supreme Lord. This is the God. So he got little shaken his heart. He just thought and meditated for a minute, and he opened his eyes, and he see everything that this is this nature, this sun and the moon and the wind and everything, and he just, that's what is exactly Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa giving, that what you see, if you open it, you see is the Lord. So this is exactly the point. When you say universal form of the Lord, we can definitely ask the question that everything is the Krishna's or the Lord's expansion or the energy. Then nothing is that. It's all a transformation of that Krishna's potency or that spiritual potency. The sun and the moon and the earth and the wind and the trees and the river and the ocean and the moon, stars, planets, and their cosmic creations. Nothing but a transformation of one and all. So in that perspective, you can see the universal form. So yes, I mean, there may be different explanations to that, but at least on the minimum level, in order to make him understand the universal form, what you see is the Lord's universal form. This universe itself is the Lord's another form. So this is the way, I mean, some people may consider, may believe it. Otherwise, yes, I mean, still some people may not. They may say, is this all matter? That's, we can ask, what is matter? So everything is the Krishna's energy and his expansions, his potencies, and everything happens in this world is according to that potency, that will, and then further and further he can realize and understand that this is exactly the universal form of the Lord. That's my 2 cents.
Thanks, Prabhu. I like that Swami Vivekananda example. Thanks.
Well, yeah.
Prabhuji, I can give one small,
Go ahead, please.
example. It is not exactly example, but it's like a funny way of saying the thing. So it happens that one guy is an atheist, and he goes to another guy, and they say in Hindi, right? Khuda is Bhagwan. So he says he goes to another guy who is a believer, and he says, "Can you show me the भगवान का खुदा का खुदाई दिखा सकते हैं आप मुझे?" बोला, हाँ दिखा सकते हैं. तो बोले, चलो दिखाते हैं तुमको. And he takes him to a river and बोलता है, then he says, this is खुदा का खुदाई. So the river has been dug by the God. खुदाई, खुदा मतलब खोदा और खुदाई. So खुदा का खुदाई है ये. So the nature, as Prabhuji is saying, the nature itself is खुदा का खुदाई. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So just all we need to do is just open the eyes, and that's why Krishna Jagrada has come out from the sleeping soul. Then open the eyes, and they can see the Lord in everything. And so that some people just simply argue with it, just say Hari Bol, that's all. But some really, there are some genuine people. When we put all this, they would definitely appreciate. Yeah. Anything else? Any other discussion? Murdananda Prabhu.
No, Prabhu.
Yeah. What is your opinion on that?
My Prabhu is it basically is where that person is coming from. If he's in an argumentative mode, then you just have to, no matter what, they may call you a fanatic, they may call you this, that.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, yes, this is my thing. I don't interfere in your. This is how I lead my life. This is how you lead your life. Right and wrong, we can never come to a conclusion. Who's right, who's wrong. That, and I'll leave it at that. But if there is a person who's more interested, then this Virat Roop is just an example, Prabhu, but there are so many, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So where you can, as you said, talk to him in his level.
Yep.
So at that level, I try to explain without getting spiritual, without, Shabda Praman, this, that, and all that. So more in terms of general language even, and explain a situation. So things like Prabhupada's example, I have not been to Africa, or this country doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Person can immediately relate. So similarly, there is so many more things which is unbelievable. And then in his experience, I try to map it. So for example, pregnancy, modern science has discovered it only now. Or to his point, Sankarshan Prabhu, this God particle has been around, I don't know, maybe 10 years or whatever, recently. But God particle is in Brahma Samhita. And like this, there are so many.
Yep.
So if you talk about his language, then he can relate to it, so to say. And then like what Prabhu said, Govardhan Prabhu is, hey, listen, you want to know more, get this book. These simple books, perfect question, perfect answer. Send them a link to, you can go and check out BBT. There are so many, Science of Self-Realization. And read it, and you'll get some more answers there. So leave it at that. So from that's what usually I do. And I was just trying to see if there's any other method or something else where you can talk to him in his language without getting quotations or anything. Because you and I understand quotations. We've been around for a while. But to the newcomer, he'll just get dazzled. So that's what I usually try to.
Yeah, one point for which I would like to, can I add one more point? Is okay?
Yes, please.
So I think, it's not just us trying to make a devotee or whatever. Every person, every living entity, every soul has its own journey also. So it also depends upon their own pious traits and where they are. It's not just a one, okay, I am trying, he should become devotee. It's not, it's the cumulative effect of many factors also contributes to that one. So it's not just we are telling is following, yes, I have enough pious traits, etc. So it's a complicated situation, but this much what you said, we can try this much. Beyond that, we should, it's up to, his whatever.
Yeah, Prabhu, can I?
Please.
Okay, Muhammad.
So, when I just graduated from college, I was working with a doctor for a couple of years, and this is quite some time back. So he was of the opinion of human beings as they become adults should not drink milk, which was very controversial, and not everybody agreed with it because whatever. So he told me something which has struck with me, and I think which is true with even Srila Prabhupada has mentioned it. He's saying there are some people who will come to you to learn, to understand, to know more. And there are some who will question you just to argue, be argumentative, and get into an argumentative mode. So we should be able to tell who such people are. And finally, I think it comes to this, that, okay, let's agree to disagree. You are entitled to your beliefs. I am entitled to mine. And like Srila Prabhupada said that by us engaging them in a discussion, they will blaspheme the Lord. And we are doing them more disservice. So I just leave it. I say, yeah, fine, you know, this is it. If you don't want to believe, that's fine. You are entitled to your opinion as I am to mine. And these are my sources. So if you're ever interested, please read up. And I leave it at that.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you, Mataji. And Srila Prabhupada says also that we can recognize a fool. You know, Srila Prabhupada said very beautifully. We can immediately recognize a fool when they open the mouth, right? So we can easily understand whether a person is curious or inquisitive, or you know, he's genuinely asking, and he's interested in it. So we should be always, you know, we should be what is called see the situations, not simply go and talk anything that what it comes to. There is a proverb called Maunam Vidvana Bhushanam. That means those who are intelligent, those who are scholarly, those who know the Vedic subject matter, they don't just simply speak anywhere, wherever they want, or things like that. Only when it is appropriate. That's also the control of speech is very important. Whom we are speaking is all important. Some, you know, as Mataji mentioned that, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that if they get into the argument and they have such a revenge against the Lord and this, you know, some people doesn't listen. Some people always try to counter argument and, you know, always. So better never actually we should get into an argument with anybody. There is a point that we can just withdraw ourselves, Haribol, and should be very, what is called, smart enough to see the situations. Yeah, to see the situations. Yeah, I mean, it's very important. Some people are genuinely coming, and then, you know, so we can definitely talk to them, and not in a very, we can very peacefully, calmly, and, you know, listen to them first. What is their point, you know, rather than we are injecting things, listen to them, and then definitely when the other person sees that we are listening to them, and then they will also have a respect to us. They will also listen to us. Otherwise, if we just put ourselves and don't listen to them, it won't work. So it doesn't help. So even if we go for book distribution, we just slowly introduce, you know, the books and the Srila Prabhupadas, you know, to them, and, you know, do you read, you know, just ask some questions, you know, just try to understand what is the interest of that person. You know, it's very, you know, we don't talk high philosophy with any new person at all. And whomever we see, whatever we speak, we just genuinely ask the question, you know, generally ask, you know, how are you, and all those things. That's where we should make the connection. We should make the relationship or connection with people. Never ever. So that's our interaction also should be very Krishna conscious way. So that's not offended or anything that which we talk that which make them, you know, kind of what is called embarrassed, or situation that they cannot even further talk to us. We'll always make a, you know, what is called we need to make a friend first, you know, in any situations with anybody, you know, so that make a very good connection. I was reading a story of Hitler, and Hitler had this concentration camp. There was a person, he was around 99 years old. He actually happened to, you know, come to this concentration camp because of he was a Jew and things like that. And then out of all, there were thousands of people were there in the concentration camp. And the main thing is actually they select some people that for, you know, for the gas chambers. They just direct them to the gas chambers and they kill them. So then this one person, he was very, you know, friendly. So there was an officer and he made some jokes and he made some friendly. And this officer recognized him. and just he makes laugh. He made the officer laugh, and he made some jokes, made nicely. So then later, after some time, this person came. This I forgot his name. Just I was reading. So this person came to this, and that officer was there. And out of 300 people selected for the sent to the gas chamber, and that officer was there when this person came, and officer just looked at him and I saw you somewhere, things like that kind of. And he just laughed at him and said that, um, he made, nice that he made that same situation that he could remember further. Yeah, I remember you. So this officer did divine award because of that, just one moment of that good relationship or good made that connection. He showed that other door, an exit door, said that go through that door, you leave here quickly. And he just, said that, and he just left, and he got his life back. So we never know, right? So we never should make anything that with anybody, and we should be always be good with everyone, and we should always connect people, and this is the only way we can connect the people. That's exactly the Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is not there to fight, or not there to argument, not there to show our hypocrisy, not there to show our dominance, not there to discriminate, not there to, you are that, you are this, I am senior, I am junior, or you do this one, I am because of this. This is not the one. Krishna consciousness is, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, that we should be tolerant. We should be tolerant than a tree, humbler than a blade of grass. We should always respect others. This is not just for. This is our base. This is our basic characters of a devotee. And if we don't have this one, we cannot even claim that that we are serving the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, serving Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was so tolerant and making everybody possible. In one appearance of Srila Prabhupada made all these devotees just because of. And I remember I read one instance when Srila Prabhupada came back from India, just visiting, and Srila Prabhupada brought lots of, dhoti, kurta, and saris for the disciples. Can you imagine? A spiritual master. And he was calling and personally calling and giving out to them, to these devotees, and the devotees, they're indebted, their entire life will be for that. So like that, we should have always create an impression in others rather than depression. So we should always create an impression in others with our attitude and behavior and character. So that's Krishna consciousness. Otherwise we are just putting ourselves that I am that, I am boss, I can do anything, I am doing this one so I can command people, I can be on top of everything, I am so that, I am so this, I am so. We have always have this kinds of attitude. This is because of coming from ego, because of some, if we are some extent we are doing some good, we are spiritually, good. So all on a sudden it's attacked. That's the first thing to attack. The ego comes into the picture, and then we behave. I'm so and so, I'm so and so that I can do this way, I can do this, I can talk this way. Somebody come and ask for some help, or I'm senior, I'm commander, I'm that, I'm this. I can command, I can do things, and then what happens? This is called coming out from ego. And then what will happen? This is the same that we then reflect with others, and we'll keep that the same habit. When there is a new person, we do the same. We should not that. We should be always. That's where we forgetting ourselves. So we should be always humble, very humble in all sense, that seeing everybody as the part and parcel of Krishna. They are all. So we should, in all respect. So Krishna consciousness is the last thing to speak to any person, unless and until they ask for us. Otherwise, we should be nice, wonderful with everybody, and we should create that impression. Yeah, this person is nice. What is the secret of it? Yes, yeah, he goes to temple, he chants the holy name, he reads the books, he attends the classes. He's a devotee. Yeah, we can see that. We can experience. We can feel that aura, that this what is called charismatic. So this is the way we should be always with everybody. Yes, I mean, sometimes we get into trouble, but we should be very careful. But that doesn't mean that, we should put ourselves in such a way that, challenging and revenging and argumentative and all those things. We never should get into that. Whatever it happens, the devotee should be always ready to tolerate and ready to tolerate all situations. Yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
Very nice. Very nice, Prabhu.
Okay, what is happening since yesterday? You are having some sound. Is this Prabhuji, the battery? I think it needs to change. I believe is a fire alarm or by the.
Yes, this is a fire alarm, Prabhu.
Yeah, I think battery is low.
Maybe that. Actually, no, Prabhu. There is some smoke because there is.
Oh, you are offering your agarbatti.
Agarbatti and there is.
I see. Okay, got it.
So that's the reason. But so nice discussion, Prabhu. Very good discussion, and humble obeisances to you all, and Nandavat Pranam, Prabhu. But one thing I can tell you, Prabhu, don't take it other way, and humble obeisance to everyone. I'm presenting myself that my opinion actually, not my opinion. That is it.
Yes.
So question is that, Prabhu, charity begins at home, Prabhu, right? So we came here in US. We are little bit. We are taking. We have the food. We have the shelter. Everything. But Prabhu, I think that the Krishna consciousness or the spirituality came. This spirituality came from our country. So our country is going. I think that I see. I went to the India, right? The consciousness of the people is going down. So what we are doing from here, we are not contributing that extent. So I'm thinking that what is your opinion for that?
Yeah, that's just. I mean, Amrudananda Prabhu mentioned that it's Kali Yuga. It's impact of the Kali Yuga. But also we are seeing one side of it. See that the other side of it. Now, initially, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that, when Srila Prabhupada came from India to preach over here in the West, and Srila Prabhupada said that when Westerners do something, Indians will follow, and that's what is exactly happened. See that how many beautiful temples are building up in India. Yes, one side people may go in other side, but there are situations, there are so many people also coming into the Krishna consciousness because of Srila Prabhupada's mercy, Prabhuji. That so many temples. This was not the case before, actually, even before Srila Prabhupada, maybe 50, 60 years back. Yes, now the influence of the Kali Yuga, influence of this modern, this time is influencing a lot of people. But at the same time, there are thousands of people coming to the Krishna consciousness and taking the, temple, and they are building the temple. And I was listening from my Guru Maharaj is going to put another, Shila for a temple in here, Kundinapur, where the Rukmini Devi's place, and Kaudilyapur. And so like that, there are so many temples are coming up. So now see that, 50, 60 years back, we didn't even think of, we will have a beautiful Ram, temple in Ayodhya, and so many things, and it's all coming up, and it's all becoming, and we never thought of Kashi was, it is open for everyone now. Thousands of people are now visiting Kashi. Yes, there may be some changes here and there, and so a lot of influences, but at the same time, things are also coming back in such a way that people can take the opportunity to worship and concentrate more, and Krishna consciousness, and everywhere distributing. So many devotees go out and distribute Bhagavad Gita. This is the aftermath. This is the impact of the time period that we had 50, 60 years back, or we can say 40 years back or something like that. It was kind of what is called the communism and socialism, and all the isms came. And it was there was a nice article there in my grandfather period of time, everybody was so wonderful and nice and devotees. But then after that generations, everybody became that this kinds of influence of the socialism and isms and all. But now again, it's coming back to understanding of, what is really for, especially because of, the Krishna conscious movement. It's everywhere. If I go to, in my place, native place, Kerala, this was not seen before. Now there are so many Sundays are coming and so many devotees, so many people are chanting. Padayatra is there and so many places. And, so many areas. If you go to Tamil Nadu, so many beautiful temples, Coimbatore, Chennai, so many beautiful temples came up and lots of people are coming to the temple and lots of book distribution, Chennai and all. Pune, if you take, Mumbai, you take, how many temples are in Mumbai? And even if you take anybody come from Mumbai, everybody must have heard about ISKCON. And even if you talk to anybody, they all must have talked to, heard about ISKCON. This was not the case before. And now things are coming back too, Prabhuji. And that's why Srila Prabhupada said that next 10,000 years is the golden period of time because of this is a golden opportunity and people will be. But again, what we need to do is actually we should try to help distribute books, and we should help. I was listening Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj. Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj started this tribal care, and this was not the case 10 years back. There was loads of conversions and people are misguided and they have a bad belief or faith and all those things, and so many tribal areas and low income wages areas and the people those who are under the poverty lines, these missionaries and those goes there and they convert in such a way that just making their numbers to increase, not really teaching anything. So now Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj started this tribal care, and many villages in Orissa, many villages, the tribal villages in Calcutta, in Bengal, many villages there, and so many, everybody is taking care of it. And so many book distribution happens. So whatever we can do, help them actually in that way. Everybody gets, at least whenever we have some money, send them that they can distribute the Bhagavad Gita to the people, and they said they distribute so much of prasadam to these tribal. So Sarah, I can send you so many pictures of it. Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj is doing wonderful activities in India and all over India. It's a tribal ministry. Is actually ISKCON is actually now established a tribal ministry. And so many devotees are going to the remote villages and places, and especially this Padayatra by Guru Maharaj, going to the remote villages, and everybody is very well received and welcomed. And even remote villages, these ISKCON temples are coming up, and Namahatta is coming up, and the what is called Bhakti Vrishas are coming up, and it's spreading all over the places. If you go to Bengal now, I mean, so many devotees, right? And Orissa, so many wonderful devotees. So what we can do is actually we should help them in whichever way capacity we can, so that, main focus, Prabhuji, that's what Srila Prabhupada mentioned, that the answer to all this, what we see, the Kali Yuga, effect of Kali Yuga, answer to all this nothing but is Krishna consciousness. And take it this word, only Krishna conscious can be make this life blissful, and this world is peaceful, and then everybody can realize, and there is nothing in this world which is more sublime than this Krishna consciousness. All we need to do is be there and help whatever way we can, and pray to Krishna and Srila Prabhupada that please engage us, so that whatever we can do it with our heart. So rest will be Srila Prabhupada and the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Krishna will take care of it. All we need to do is faith in them. Srila Prabhupada says that even if you don't believe me, but believe that the process that which is successful, which is very, you can have a faith in the process. So we have such a process is there. So it's making progress. It's making wonderful. So all we need to do that have faith into that, help them, help in all situations, and whatever the capacity we can. So that way, even 10 people, even over here, if you can distribute book Bhagavad Gita, don't waste the time, so much of things. Come out and distribute, wherever you are. I went to the Saturday for the book distribution. I was speaking pretty much lots of Muslim people, and even one person was even ready to take the Bhagavad Gita. And he told me, I'm a Muslim. He said, Bhagavad Gita is not any religious text or anything. This is for everybody. This is transcendental knowledge. This gives us, such a knowledge that we can live here in this world peacefully, rather than, not understanding how to live peacefully. So, I took the book. And so that way, if we can give this out, even 10 people in our lifetime, we can give this book and talk to them in such a way that they, they read and understand. That's our success. And Srila Prabhupada, even one person, with this effort, even one person is actually understood this Krishna consciousness. My mission is successful. Even one person. So that's all we need to worry. Don't worry too much. All we need to have the faith in Krishna and Srila Prabhupada, and follow what Srila Prabhupada instructed us to do, and always remember what Srila Prabhupada's instructions, that what is the Srila Prabhupada's core principles and instruction? His utility is the principle, right? The preaching is the essence, and the purity is the force, and books are the basis. Okay? So
Yes.
always you should remember this.
Yes, Prabhu. Very nicely
Prabhu,
presented.
Just Prabhu's statement,
Yeah.
to make a clarification, is ISKCON is not Indian.
Yeah, ISKCON is not Indian.
Sanatan Dharma is not Indian. Bhakti is not Indian. India happens to be a nursery of spirituality. That land happens to be that area, place of spirituality. But Bhakti is not Indian. Neither are we Indians nor Americans. Our body is this and that. So Prabhupada specifically named International Society of Krishna Consciousness. And many years ago, in Kirtan, and this is where Gunagari Swami Maharaj, all glories to him, he's no longer, he's left his body. So we used to play the guitar, and some devotees got upset that this is a Western thing and you're mixing it with the Vedic. In Vedic, there is no guitar. So I stopped playing it and I wrote to my Guru Maharaj. In the meantime, I asked Gunagari Swami what to do. And he is the one who said Prabhupada named this International Society of Krishna Consciousness. In fact, if you talk about guitar, the first thing we play in the morning while waking the deities is Govindam Adi Purusham. And it is filled with guitar and Western instruments, so much so, even the harmonium is a Western instrument. It comes from the organ, which is used, portable organ, which is used in churches. So that thing we should keep in mind. And the other point where you said charity begins at home. Our country of origin is India. And our country of adoption, you may say, is US. We are living over here. We have a responsibility. And as Grastis, we have so many other responsibilities to take care of. But it should not be with the consciousness that this is India and this is where I come from. Then that becomes sectarian and on the bodily level. So
Prabhu,
if you're in US, you can go out for book distribution. You're doing, as a soul, you're helping other souls. Whether he's a Muslim like Simeshwar Prabhu said, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So that's one.
Prabhu, I'm not talking about that thing. This is soul is eternal and everything. I'm not arguing anything that this is bad and this is good. I'm not talking about that thing. I'm not talking about that these things that this is bhakti is from the India. But I'm talking about that Prabhupada came here and again go back to the India and spread the Krishna consciousness, because he has that mission also, right? So we in Puri, I have seen that there is a number of temples. Jagannath Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there. there is some Haridas Thakur's Samadhi and others. They are lot of Sant. They are living there also. They are living there. So I'm talking about Prabhu. I'm not talking about that, not spreading the Krishna consciousness in the West and anything like that. But whatever our capacity from here, whether we are helping them or how much we are helping them, and whether we are that capacity or helping them or not. So that is my
helping them, Prabhu, is how I will approach this is, why do I want to help them? Is because they are physically in India, or because they are saintly people, or to maintain the culture and heritage. For what? What is the purpose? What's driving me to help them? So recently in Bangladesh, from another community, they went and even killed a devotee, and they went and even destroyed the Hare Krishna temple. You know that, and it happened twice already. So there was a lot of outrage. Now the outrage is, people mixed it up with, made it into Hindu. It's a Hindu temple. ISKCON is and you should see, if you want to have a perspective, is Radhesham Prabhu's question answers on this particular incidents. So when we are doing it, the best way, what Sameshwar Prabhu says, I 100% agree. We are physically in this place, and yes, we have an obligation to our home country, just as we have an obligation to a mother. That is also a mother. Land is also a mother. And even US is a mother. The land of US is a mother. So in terms of helping that consciousness of how we help, rather than I'm helping the Indians. Similarly, where Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj is helping the tribal people, his help to the tribal people is not to compete with the Christian missionaries. Yes, the Christian missionaries have a lot of money, lot of resources, and it's mainly the evangelicals, and they have a very confused idea of the Bible. So rather than take them into a worse situation, he's saving them as souls, not as Bangladeshi tribals or Indian tribals or any other. So that's what I think our outlook should be. Difficult, because all these years we have stayed in the body. We still are in the body. So from that idea, Prabhu is, it's an, yeah, sorry.
Yes, sorry, Prabhu, I'm interested, but I have not that idea, Prabhu. I'm not talking about that this is Bengali body, Bengali people, or this is your heritage. If you put that, if you keep that, save that heritage, then other people, other people see that the origin country is now is plural. Means they are more Krishna conscious. They will be more attracted. Actually, other people will be more attracted towards them. So that is the
heritage we do here in book distribution, no, Prabhu? That exact same heritage is when Sameshwar Prabhu goes out, Puneet Prabhu goes out on Saturday, and the exact same literal heritage is what they're preserving. So whether I do it in India, or whether I do it in Africa, or whether I do it in Edison, we are instruments of protecting. Yes, you're 100% right to protect the heritage, but where it is being done is where you are. So, what is that thing, Sameshwar Prabhu? Jara dekhe tara kaho Krishna Upadesh.
no.
So if I'm in the airport, we talk. If I'm in the train, discuss. Wherever.
I totally agree with you, Prabhu. I'm not talking about that. Jare dekho tahire kaho Krishna upadesh. That is one of the part, Prabhu. But don't take it other way. Just
Yeah, I mean that's all right, Puji. That's all right. That's a compassionate. We can understand that we should be compassionate, and paradukha dukhi is all Vaishnava qualities. That's there. That's okay. There is nothing wrong in it. Thinking about them, and it's all good. I mean, family and children and relatives, people around, and it's just wonderful, and we should do whatever the capacity we can do. That's all right, absolutely fine. So
Yes,
Prabhuji's point is, general points that we should always, yes, India is like that. Yes, I mean, we should see as a devotee, as a Krishna devotee, we should see equally, and we should always help, you know, you know. Yes, but there is nothing wrong that our family members, relatives, society, and the people around, and we all come from that place, and it's a natural, compassionate nature of a devotee. So that's
but,
all right. Yeah.
Prabhu, sorry for interruption. I don't actually. My point is that not that these things that this is my family and this is my country. This is my country. No, that is not my point, Prabhu. My point is that India is a spiritual country, and spiritual bhakti originated from there. So if the more and more people show their nature, the bhakti nature and other spirituality, so other country, all the world, all the universe can be attracted towards
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So main thing is that so that's why Prabhu Jare Dekho Tare Ko Krishna Upodesh, that is I agree totally 100% agree, but my question is that apart from that, Indian heritage, wherever is the Indian heritage there, we have to preserve these things, we have to support these things, how to
Yeah. So we should support as much as we can, whatever the way, and to preserve or the culture and all whatever is good for the people in Krishna consciousness, and as I mentioned, this is the only solution to the world. So we should always ready for whatever the capacity we can, wherever it is, doesn't matter. Yes, even if whichever we take, whichever the country, at least everybody has a title. You're Indian or American, whatever it is. We don't need to be worried about those things, but wherever it is, that we should ready to offer the help. We should ready to serve Srila Prabhupada and the community. Okay, I think it's getting over. Let's conclude, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Govardhan Bhakta Prabhu. Still there? Okay. Okay, thank you. Let's conclude then. Tomorrow is Ekadashi. So it's a Mohini Ekadashi, fasting from egg, grains, and beans, Himali. And also Sunday is our big festival day. It's Narasimha Chaturdashi. Narasimha, we have a wonderful program. So please join early. And yeah, okay. So let's conclude. Vanchakalpadarupasya. Pavanebhyo. Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Vandana Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Gaudiya Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Gaurav Premanande Hari Hari.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.